Hey folks, welcome to That's Dope.
The podcast where we talk about stuff that's dope, and today we have a very special short little episode about a new movie by Marvel, which really blew our minds. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, more like the Winter Swoldier, am I right?
Right.
The biceps though. Ooh.
You know, I think this movie actually maybe a little bit more gay. I mean,
Oh god.
I mean, definitely we keep talking about. I guess.
Here's the thing, right? I'm confident enough in my sexuality to the point where I can look at a dude and be like, "That's a good-looking dude," and not mean anything by it.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, you got some good-looking biceps.
Honestly, okay, this is gonna sound really gay, but I thought Chris Evans was the best-looking person in the whole movie.
He was a really good-looking dude. I'm not gonna go that far because Scarlett Joe.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Joe.
Always, especially like in Avengers, like
Iron Man 2.
But honestly, I went to this movie with a female friend and I just couldn't stop looking at Chris Evans. I was just like, I need to get more buff, and dang, he's just so studly and just
he's a good looking dude. He's
right?
a good looking dude for sure. You know what I mean? But you can't
sounds,
be like, I went with a girl and nothing happened, and then be like, but Chris Evans was so good looking, and then wonder why did anything happen? You're like,
oh Lord,
you're like with her, you're thinking about Chris Evans when you're with her, like
no, Chris Evans, no. But what does this mean? But no. Anyways, this movie is a great movie. Where we think that is something that people have to see, and we definitely want to talk about it. We want to talk about, I guess, like the differences between this movie and the first movie.
Yeah, definitely, because even though it's the same character, they're both very different films. Incredibly
very different feels. And then also we want to talk about why you should go see this movie. I mean, because it's a good movie, and then
really good.
Yeah, so I guess let's get started with that.
Yeah, why don't you kick things off?
Okay.
Why don't you give us a brief explanation on the differences between the first film and the second film? Tell me about how the feel is different.
Okay, so for sure, the first movie, it's old timey. I mean,
yeah.
In fact, I don't remember it too well. Like, I do need to watch the first movie again, but I feel like the first movie was like sepia or something like that. Like where it had like this sort of sheen, where it was like old timey propaganda.
Yeah.
Because at least when I remember in my head, I feel like it was sepia. Like it was just. It's like, and it reminds me of like the old timey talk, like, "Hey there, youngster," right?
See,
right?
And I like that a lot. A lot of people complain that the first film was corny or cheesy, but I thought it was kind of intentional in the sense that it was a modern film with an old school feel.
Exactly. I mean, it is supposed to be like the 1940s, and he's supposed to be a war hero for World War II. And I thought that he did a good job, and honestly, the first movie was great.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
But it felt like more like almost like a generic movie. Like it didn't really,
like a war-driven, like a romance-driven war story.
Exactly. It didn't really feel like a Marvel or Captain America movie as much. It didn't really feel like superheroes or all that. Definitely he felt special. He felt great, and he definitely made me, want to believe in myself and be like, yeah, I can reach my potential. I can be a great hero too. Yeah,
with some special steroids.
Yeah, right. But it didn't really feel like Marvel to me as much. And honestly, if I was gonna rank the first movie, it was my second least favorite.
Oh wow.
It's over Thor. Thor is just. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. These movies are all great movies in a way. I feel like in a bar graph, they're making A's and B's. This made a solid B.
Oh yeah.
But Captain America 2, that made A+. I thought that was second only to Avengers.
Yeah, Captain America 1, you bring that home to your Indian parents, they'll beat the shit out of you. But Captain America 2, they'll tolerate you for another semester. Seriously, Captain America 2 was great because it's I guess expanding on that, Captain America 1 was a romance-fueled war story. Captain America 2, completely different feel. In the sense that after the events of the first Captain America, Cap goes into this deep sleep and he's thawed into the modern world. You know what I mean? And he has to adjust. And in that sense, I feel like the series also had to adjust. It had to step away from the kind of corny, cheesy throwback to olden movies times to this more modern feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this film was way darker than
exactly
darker, and it had this really great spy feel to it.
Exactly.
Not so much a war sort of feel that the first film had, but a very good spy feel to it, and I appreciated that a lot.
Me too.
You know,
one thing I really did like about this movie was I felt like it was a good analysis of our current culture with the government. Like, can we really trust the government as much?
It's true.
Can we like let them like invade our privacy in order to protect us as much? And they really gave a good
like a moral dilemma almost.
exactly.
Especially when
like
they're
what
talking
we're
about,
going on, like with NSA and everything. Like it's like, should we allow this? Like it was a good commentary on that.
It was a good commentary, and I the concept of preemptive attacks and whatnot, and Captain, like, I thought the punishment came after the crime. It's very interesting. It's very in your face. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, this movie I liked it more. Like my lady friend who came with, like, she loved Captain America 1. She didn't really like Captain America 2. Opposite from me, I loved Captain America 2, and I get like so many good things. I guess like let's get to the characters.
Yeah, why don't we just get to like the movie itself?
The movie, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
The movie itself.
Like immediately right off the bat, like it's like one of my favorite scenes where it's like compared to like Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, that sub scene.
Yeah, right. It's like big boss, extreme difficulty. Gonna get that trophy. No alerts. Boom, boom, boom. You know.
No, you don't need that one time. You need that one time.
No, like none of that. Like he's just taking dudes left and right.
Oh yeah.
And like it's like, whoa, there's a lot more action than I remember like in the first movie. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
And it's like, if this is the beginning, I wonder how the movie's gonna go. And the movie went in. I feel like it.
Definitely, like action wise, they really stepped it up. The choreography was phenomenal this time around. Like, and we've seen some pretty phenomenally choreographed films. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was definitely some top tier choreography. You know what I mean? It was for me personally, like as far as the film ranks, it was a notch below the Avengers, but it was still incredibly fun to watch.
Exactly.
From the action, fantastic.
Exactly. Like honestly, like it didn't lag at all. I mean, like there were a few like, I guess, slow points, but then like it got quickly back into like the action like constantly. And
for me, like even the slow points were good because it expanded on the universe and the characters, which is good, I guess. And then that's a good segue to like the next aspect that I liked about it personally was what they did with the characters. They were able to wrap up some of the loose ends from the first film. Develop some events that happened in the first film and how those carried on into the modern world, which I thought was incredibly touching. There's one scene in particular. I don't want to spoil it. But people who have seen the film, like when he sees this person again from his old life, like it was incredibly moving. Like the banter that they had back and forth. It was like, I don't know, it moved me.
Definitely.
It moved. It was very heartfelt.
Definitely. I think comic book fans will also like really enjoy this movie a lot because like it stays pretty true to things. Actually it really captured that movie vibe, that comic book vibe, but also people who never like even read the comics can definitely like attest to it as a fun movie that they can enjoy. And like I really did like that. And also like I remember like me and you were talking before like when we went to go see a movie, how it was breaking down like the world as a whole, the whole Marvel world.
It seems like a very interesting thing. We have the end of Iron Man 3, Tony Stark makes a decision that really changes the entire game. The character for a gigantic reason. It's like it almost destroys like a part of that universe, right? And not to give anything away, but in Captain America, the new one, it happens as well. On a completely different scale. And so I guess the implications for that, if we want to look a little bit to the future of this series as a whole, and maybe gaze into the future where we see Avengers Age of Ultron, is essentially the universe that has been established slowly breaking down and then something coming out of the ashes of it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And Joss Whedon's doing it again, so in Joss we trust.
Right, like it definitely is gonna be.
It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be really
exactly.
Hype.
I guess one last point to that. Like I really do like how like it tied in with the TV show. I haven't seen the TV show.
I haven't seen it, but it makes me really want to watch the TV show.
Exactly. Like definitely. Quite the twist that just sort of
a huge twist.
It just makes this like okay, maybe I need to watch this show so I can get some more backstory.
So you can have a different perspective of what's going on, and it's a really nice mix of marketing and good writing, essentially. And it's just really interesting to watch this universe like really expand out. It's really interesting. Thinking about like movies, this is gonna be a weird touch, but thinking about movies back in the day, generally speaking, people would make trilogies at most, right?
Yeah.
But I guess with movies nowadays, especially something that I feel like Marvel and a lot of superhero films have really done is the concept of not just making trilogies, but making universes of films. You know what I mean? Films that kind of overlap and at the same time kind of don't. They stand alone, but if you watch the other films together with them, then it paints an even clearer story and just expands this entire universe, all culminating in one giant, massive, colossal event.
Exactly.
And I love that. You know?
Yeah, and like ironically, like this is the beginning of it. Like we're at the point where this is the first time they're ever doing this type of deal.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, so I'm really excited to see like what the future brings. I mean, like I think it's gonna go pretty well.
I think it's going to be really great. And we have Guardians of the Galaxy coming out this year, which should be fantastic. You know, I'm a huge Chris Pratt fan, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, that looks really funny. And you got a raccoon there, but
Rocket Raccoon,
right?
voiced by Bradley Cooper, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, once we see it, we'll talk about that. But like, I guess anything else that you would like to say about this?
I guess I'll just wrap things up if that's cool with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, for me, definitely watch this movie. Even if you weren't a huge fan of the first one, you will love this film. You'll love this film. Personally, I love the first one, and I like this one even more. It's a notch below the Avengers, but if that tells you anything, because the Avengers, oh my gosh, so good. The writing, the jokes. There's a lot of. It's a very serious film, but there's a lot of really great, really subtle jokes in there, and like just really great writing all around, which makes it a very serious film, but at the same time, there's like really good moments of comic relief, which I really, really like. Good writing. The characters are developed a lot more in this film. I feel they're a lot more fleshed out, and the action, fantastic. You know, fantastic. Overall, fantastic movie. I loved it, and I encourage all of you, if you like Marvel, definitely go see it.
Indeed, definitely. I totally agree with Justin. Definitely go check this movie out. I guess one last thing I'll like to say, Samuel L. Jackson is super cool in this movie.
Ooh, so cool.
And maybe I have to cosplay as him again. I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know. But we'll see. Oh, and also I finally got a new black character to cosplay as.
Yeah, you do. You got a new black character to cosplay as. Oh.
Yeah, so you'll see how that goes. But definitely go see this movie. Is worth your time. So
definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I hope you guys stay dope.
Yeah. With that in mind, I guess we'll just close out this review. Yeah. For those of you who want to listen to more of our podcasts, you can see an annotation right now. Just go ahead and click that, and you can listen to another episode. Until then, stay dope, folks, and have a fantastic day.